G'day, Laura Louise Love, psychologist and mum, coming to you from another walk and talk video. And today's topic I'd really love to discuss with you all is that of forgiveness and what a hard thing it is to do sometimes. I was looking into the research on forgiveness, and it's quite amazing that it actually really improves the health of our hearts. So, when we hold on to things like unforgiveness, this increases our risk of heart disease, and if we have a pre-existing heart condition, we're more likely to have troubles and poor health in this area. So it really is important that we learn how to open up our heart and the art of forgiveness in a sense, and it is a bit of a science as well too. So forgiveness is very misunderstood in our culture, and often we think about forgiveness in terms of, we hear those band-aid statements in our society a lot, just get over it, or forgive and forget. And when we really look at the research into the qualities of forgiveness, what it is, what it isn't, and how we do it, it can really bring us a lot of clarity about how to go about this process. So forgiveness doesn't actually involve any kind of reconciliation and has nothing to do really with the other person. It really is about us learning to release and move on from anger, resentment, bitterness, hostility, and all those kinds of things that can literally harden and close up our heart, like I was mentioning earlier. So it's very draining and exhausting, isn't it, when we just can't forgive and move forward and release those really negative emotions which ultimately just hurt us. It's kind of like drinking poison, isn't it, when we hold on to unforgiveness and we're unable to move forward in our lives, and we're carrying this really heavy burden, aren't we? So when it comes to forgiveness, when we readily forgive and are able to release all of those negative emotions, this has a fantastic benefit to our health. So it increases muscle relaxation, it improves our immune system, it decreases our stress levels as well, improves our well-being, it decreases the incidence of major psychiatric disorders and chronic anxiety and depression as well, which makes a lot of sense. And more than that, it frees us up for the good stuff in life, gratitude, awe, and being able to readily forgive. In the research, that's really well associated with the personal attributes and qualities of courage, of grace and compassion. So we really want to be learning how to forgive, and it can be really difficult sometimes because it ultimately will set us free, and it enables us to thrive in our lives and really function very well. So one of the best models that I've come across when it comes to learning how to forgive is the REACH forgiveness model. It's called the REACH Forgiveness of Others model, actually. So this involves us to realize the hurt, that we have been betrayed or hurt or lied to by someone. We've got to really acknowledge what this has done to us, because as Dr. Phil often says, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. And next we've got to altruistically, E was missed E. E is empathize. So we need to empathize and sympathize that, the person that has wronged us is actually a person, and see them that way instead of, maybe seeing them as a terrible person who, isn't human. That helps us to release the pain as well. A, so altruistically forgive. REA. C, so commit to forgiving. So we may want to write a note to ourselves about this, that we're making a commitment to do this, because it is a decision, really. It's a decision to no longer consume ourselves with retribution or payback or thoughts of these kinds of that kind of nature. And the last one is to hold on to forgiveness. So we're going to be tempted to slip back into those old ways that just really serve to hurt us. So it's really important that we reread our notes. We work with a therapist or a coach, someone like me, for instance, when we slip back into those dysfunctional ways of being. and into that bitterness and anger and resentment. Because, you know, it really is important for us to be magnanimous in our lives and to let go of these kinds of things that prevent us from thriving. So one of the best definitions that I've really come across forgiveness is, Brene Brown often says that for forgiveness to happen, something needs to die. And Oprah Winfrey has often said her favourite definition, which I really relate with, is forgiveness is letting go of any hope that the past could have been any different. And sometimes, especially when it comes to betrayal, things weren't as we believed or as they appeared to be. So releasing that and acknowledging it and letting it go is such an important step in that. So I'd love to hear what you've done in your life to help you forgive and move on from significant and deep hurt and betrayal, because we all have different strategies. So I'd love to know what has worked for you. So be magnanimous in your life and set yourself free with the gift of forgiveness. Thanks so much for joining me. Namaste.